everyone. I'm Bianna Yeager, and welcome to a special Courier Buzz Election 2024. With just days left until the 2024 presidential election, we're gearing up to see who will take office between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Many students are preparing to cast their ballots for the first time. Courier Buzz reporter Billy O'Brien has more on this story.
As the election approaches on Tuesday, November 5th, it is essential to have your voices heard. I spoke with several students about their thoughts and feelings as they prepare to vote for the first time. Remember, it is always important to have your voices heard. Your voice truly matters in this election, November 5th, 2024.
Yes, I do.
It will not be my first time voting, but I do plan on voting.
Well, I think this is a very important and historic election, and I feel very, I feel like this is a very good opportunity to be able to make your voice heard in such a close election, and I'm honestly excited that this is the first election I'm voting in. It's definitely a little nerve-wracking seeing how close it is, but I think that's why it's important for people to get out there and vote, even if you're nervous about it or if it's your first time. I think this is a really good time to get out and vote because it'll really make a difference.
I think that you should still show up to the polls and experience it. It's definitely something that, as a citizen of America, everyone should enact their right to participate in choosing our president.
Remember, every vote matters, so be sure to head to the polls on November 5th to cast your ballot. For Courier Buzz, I'm Billy O'Brien.
For more information on where to vote, please visit your local county elections office or the state website at elections.il.gov. As we gear up for the upcoming election on Tuesday, there are several key races across the state that voters should keep an eye on.
Of course, there are some very close to home when you're talking about things like the DuPage County Board or the Forest Preserve District Board, and those people certainly live in your neighborhood and are out there doing their part for the county and for the Forest Preserve. So those types of elections are certainly happening.
Whether you're focused on state or local contests, this election season offers a wealth of significant races to watch. For more information on local and state races, visit the Illinois State Board of Elections at elections.il.gov. Just to the north of us is our sister state, Wisconsin. I traveled into rural and city areas to find out what residents think of being a voter in a swing state. Reporting from the great state of Wisconsin, I'm asking people what it's like to live in a swing state. Wisconsin, known for patriotism, beers and brats, lower gas prices, and cheese curds, becomes a stomping ground for presidential candidates and their campaigns every 4 years.
Commercials and door knocks aside, it's the texts these days and the phone calls, where on a Sunday afternoon I wake up and I've got 11 texts and 5 phone calls from lobbyists trying to take my money from me.
I think the pros are that my vote might actually matter in the face of the Electoral College. That doesn't make any sense at all. Cons would be how aggressive all of the ads are between on the TV, on the radio, via text, via phone call. It is all very pervasive and seems to think that it's going to sway people one way or another, when that does not seem to be a reality at all.
Well, for lack of a better word, advertising of the campaigns is a lot more forceful or aggressive in a swing state because they feel that they have more to get from us.
As I drove across Wisconsin from Lake Geneva to Elkhorn, Burlington, Kenosha, and on to Milwaukee, one common theme that became apparent amongst those that donned the iconic cheese head was that politics and the election was what very few cared to talk about on the record.
I drive all over the state for my job. I live here on the north side of Milwaukee, which obviously votes one way, and then I drive all over the state, and when you're buried in the farm fields, you see the other. Now, I mean, I don't know, it seems that the aggressiveness with which people are proclaiming their side seems a little harsher than it has been in the past.
I spoke to several service industry workers in the Milwaukee area who offered an explanation as to why so few people cared to talk about politics. Wisconsin may be a swing state, but I heard one common message over several days of travel. Politics and who you vote for is a personal decision, and Wisconsinites won't let it tear them apart.
So one of my favorite things about being a voter in a swing state is that quite literally your opinion is your own and you are entitled to it. So at the end of the day, our friendships come first, our families come first, and our relation to each other and our devotion to our state and our city come first.
From Wisconsin, I'm Biana Yeager. For more information on Wisconsin voting, visit the Wisconsin Elections Commission website at elections.wi.gov or My Vote Wisconsin at myvote.wi.gov. As Election Day approaches, voters are expressing a wide range of perspectives and opinions. Courier Buzz reporter Hannah Smith traveled to Washington, D.C. to gather insights on how people are feeling about the upcoming presidential election.
We're only a few days away from the 2024 presidential election, and very soon one of the candidates will be entering the White House as president. I went around Washington, D.C. and asked people how they were feeling about this election.
It's going to be very busy, let's say that. It'll be very busy, it's going to be very hectic, especially on election day.
A lot of people weren't very optimistic.
Scared, because it depends on who wins.
I've voted in a lot of elections. I'm concerned that it may not be an honest election, and you just don't know who's voting and who's counting. And so I don't know how this is going to go, so this is the first time I have actually voted early.
I also spoke to a tourist from Scotland and was able to hear his perspective on this upcoming election.
It's incredibly disappointing. So the more successful economy in the spirit of the world and a leading light for democracy around the world is feeling two candidates. One which appears to be incredibly divisive, but has the opportunity to be the first female president of the United States, and the second one a convicted felon who, as far as I'm concerned, shows no outward signs of humanity, empathy, or anything that you would expect somebody holding that office. In a country that's achieved so much since its inception, and shows so much capability and fondness, to actually feel two candidates that, quite frankly, neither are really inspirational. I would expect America to be able to better them.
With emotions running high, it's still very important to go out and get your vote counted. Make sure to go vote on November 5th. For Courier Buzz, I'm Hannah Smith.
For more information about voting in this year's presidential election, visit vote.gov. Thanks for joining us for this special election edition of Courier Buzz. For the latest in college news and events, be sure to check out this week's edition of the Courier newspaper, available now on newsstands. You can also follow us on our Facebook and YouTube page at Courier TV and our website, codcourier.org. For Courier Buzz, I'm Biana Yeager.